Hey everybody, welcome back. James here again with you, and I just got back from my recent ARA match here today, July 12th. And what you see in front of you is what I used. If you've been following along on the channel, you see that I really show the true accuracy of a 10-22. And with that said, following up on this video from the last match I went to, this right here is the Ruger 10-22 USA shooting team with the 18-inch target barrel. And again, per my calculations and stuff, per the rifling, I have found that this rifle suits my needs for competition shooting. And what competition? Well, ARA, American Rimfire Factory Class. And with that said, this rifle is still 100% OEM. Well, I should say that. I'll get to that in a second. But anyway, I went to the match, and I tell people this all the time. I know what I did in the match previously, take notes, and obviously shoot better. And this is, again, like I told them in many comments in the last update video with this setup, I'm going to be shooting better because I know this, right? And I really do know what makes a 10-22 shoot really good. Now, obviously, part of the shooter setting it up, but also part of the shooter squeezing the trigger. And I'll discuss that here too. But anyways, if you are looking for a gun that just keeps up with match bolt action rifles from factory, and you want it to be semi-auto out of the box, this is it. I mean, you cannot ask for much better out of a semi-auto gun. You really can't. And I'll discuss what I went through and did, and how I increased my scores with this setup, what you see here, and I have it topped with the Discovery HT Gen 2 6-24 scope. But with that said, you know, it's been 4 matches this year, and every match that I've been to, I have increased my scores. And I don't remember the scores off the top of my head, off the aggregates, but I do know every match that I've been to is increased by certain percentages that I've tried to hit. So with that said, I'm going to go ahead and cover these cards first before I show you what I have done to this rifle, and you can only do so much. So real quick, last match that I went to with this, I averaged a 21.42 basically, and that was in June. And that's when I made the video that how good this gun is doing, and it's appalling how accurate it is. It really is. So anyways, I'm going to go ahead and cover this. This was a 4-card match, and I'll go through details. So the number 1 target shot a 2100 on that card, and the reason was, this is a different range that I went to, and I took this same setup, and I took my stool that sits really high off the ground to this match, and come to find out the tables, the benches, are like 5-6 inches lower than where I shot previously. And I'm still increasing my scores, you know what I mean? But with that said, I found out that I was overstretched and over, binding up myself, trying to lean over on the gun the way this is set up. And what I had to do was, on the next cards, I had to raise my rest up. And luckily I had something in my truck to help raise it up. I think a binder, and I used the fat wrench box underneath my bag. And I scored a 23.25, which is the highest score I've ever got with this gun. Second time at a second match. 23.25. I'm trying to beat the rain. It's getting windy out here. The third card did the same way. 2300. 2300. And the fourth card, I pulled a 21.25. So I am still shooting above the 2100 card mark, and no low cards in this match with Center X ammo. Same Center X ammo that I've been using, and that's that. I mean, it's incredible. And I was right there with everybody. I actually placed 5th, which is unbelievable for a semi-automatic gun. Well, actually, I should say 10-22 from factory. So now that I showed you my scores, I'm going to recap real quick. And this gun, again, I seen it on Bud's gun shop recently for around $500, which is half the price of a match bolt action gun, and you're pretty much getting the same accuracy. All it comes down to you figuring the ammo out, figuring out what it likes and when to shoot it and all that stuff. And I'm still using the factory trigger. I'm using the old trigger. I'm not even using the new style BX trigger in this. So, you know, that's probably going to be something next on my list I'll have to look into, but I still wanted to keep this gun OEM, right? So as of June 8th, which was the previous match, I recrowned the barrel to my proprietary crown. I used a higher shop stool, which that's what I've been shooting with the past 2 matches, right? I bedded the action. I lowered the scope rings per trajectory that I found that this barrel gives out. I shot Lapua ammo sorted, okay? I sort it by looking at it and seeing how straight the case is. I don't sort by rim thickness or weight. You can't really do that. And the scores don't lie. Every match I've been to, again, have been going up, right? So now, as of this match, what I have done, I added a custom barrel shim here, right at the action. It adds length and timing to the bolt cycling and cocking the hammer on the backstroke, and allows the hammer to get more square hit on the bolt because it's moved forward. And it keeps the firing pin pointed down upon the case rim on ignition. Now, I also reshaped the OEM chisel style firing pin. It keeps the overall case distortion to a minimum compared to the original size and leads to consistent ignition because the firing pin's hitting the same spot every time. I also reprofiled my factory trigger. I didn't care for how it curved out too far and fat. I made the trigger skinnier and shortened it. And it reduced my horizontal POI shifting having the trigger set up like this the way I wanted. And when I shoot now, all I do is hold slightly to the right of my bullseye and the bullet's impact right there in the ring, right? Because the recoil is coming from your guide rod and spring in here on the left side, so the gun is actually going to move just a hair to the left every time you pull the trigger. At least that's how I have mine set up. Now, I also added a rear shim to my rear ring on my scope mount because what was happening was the scope ran out of elevation due to the barrel being so short and somewhat droop that it gave me more elevation in my scope because I was actually holding in the scope holdover ever since I've had the rifle. And now I can actually zero the scope with plentiful amount of adjustment left. Now, here's what I have done that's still OEM, but I actually upgraded the hammer in here to the new style hammer. I had to basically do that, and the reason why is the old school hammer that has the bushings that I used previously at all the matches, I took my trigger group out and was seeing if there was any tolerance issues with the system. And what happened was the hammer was wiggling more than 1/8 of an inch sideways in the trigger group. So I took it upon myself. I designed my own custom hammer pivot pin to increase the tolerances. Well, the old style bushing hammer did not like that pin because it wouldn't slide on it inside the trigger group. So what I had to do was upgrade my hammer to the new style. And it keeps the hammer from twisting and binding up in the trigger group, and it doesn't wiggle as bad. Next, what I did was I single loaded each round by hand. That's right. I single loaded each round for 25 bulls plus my siders and all that, getting the barrel acclimated. And lastly, I don't have to sort ammo anymore. Once I did all this stuff, after reshaping the firing pin, squaring up the hammer and firing pin issues, reprofiling the trigger, single loading each round, my gas leak has been solved. And that's the reason why I don't have to sort anymore. I was sorting because I was finding the inconsistencies with the straightness of each ammo, and it wasn't sealing properly, and when I shot the more straighter rounds, I was getting a better seal and it was shooting better. And then I started using an old barrel seasoning self-cleaning method when my accuracy falls off. So my barrel and Ruger barrels, all of them are pretty much the same way. They only prefer a certain amount of shots till the accuracy just goes out the window. And all the barrels that I've shot have been around the 50 round, 50 count number. After 50 rounds of the same ammo, accuracy just goes out the window. So what I did was I shot a certain number of different types of ammo to re-season and re-lube the bore. And that's what I did for every card. Now, the last card here, you probably are thinking, well, why was it so low if I got everything set up? Well, this match that I went to was 4-card match, and it was literally back to back. Like, there was a minimal break of a few minutes, getting the cards pulled off the backer boards, getting set up for the next round, and getting back into it, right? And I was single loading each round for, I was seasoning my barrel for, let's say, 20 shots, and then shot 25 rounds for scoreable target. So 45 rounds times 4, 180, almost 200 shots, give or take, of single loading by hand and holding onto the bag and making sure the gun was steady as possible, leaning over on my stool, even with it raised up. My arm started to muscle spasm on the last card, and I was having arm pump. I could literally, I took a video of it, my hand was just shaking by itself doing this. And it was because I was just in the zone. And my last card, I threw off a couple shots on that purpose. But I do know now what I need to do next round and next match that I go to. I'm pretty sure I'm going to upgrade the trigger and probably do a couple things. I don't know yet, but we'll see. But anyways, I just wanted to share with you guys what this gun can do and how accurate it is. And again, if you're looking for an accurate match grade semi-automatic that shoots lights out and compares to bolt action rifles, and it literally can shoot with the match grade rifles for half the cost, this is the gun to do it with. And right here, I actually went out and picked up another one, and this one shoots the same exact way. Now obviously I don't have it all set up properly like the competition setup, but it's putting out groups with Lapua that are ridiculous. I mean, they're one hole at 50 yards, and these guns can again put out groups easily 1/4 inch or smaller, multiple shots at 50 yards once you get them settled in. And that's the key. You have to figure that out for your rifle, no matter what gun it is. And if it doesn't shoot good, even with the match grade stuff, don't waste ammo. I see so many videos of people shooting guns that just don't shoot. Don't waste the time and ammo on them. If they ain't gonna shoot, they ain't gonna shoot. So anyways, I wanted to share with you guys this setup, and again the process that I went through, because I have the calculations to back it up, and it's obviously working. And I do, must know something, right? If it's working for me, and every time I go, my scores are going up. That's just the way it is. So anyways, I want to appreciate you watching as always. And my average for this card, I'll tell you, if you're wondering, was 2213, and that's the highest average I've ever got out of all cards added up. So no low cards this time, no sorting ammo, just me and the gun. So thanks for watching, and I hope to see you guys on the next one. I'm going to get out of here before it starts downpouring.